everyone, this is Sneaky G.
And Sneaky P from SneakyUniverse.com. Today we are bringing you our Portal 2 review. G, what do you think about the story of Portal 2?
I thought it was pretty good overall. I mean, it's not a great storyline, but it does continue the plot from the first game. We have Chell return. She wakes up from a stasis sleep right at the beginning and immediately meets with Wheatley right after waking up. Together they try to escape the Aperture Science facility that they're in. But in the course of doing so, they accidentally wake up Gladys, the enemy from the first game. And let's just say she hasn't forgiven Chell for killing her off in the original. So she immediately begins to rebuild the facility because she wants to put her right back to testing.
Yeah, you know, Portal 2 is not a game that's going to be known for its story. It's a puzzle game first and foremost. And when you have a puzzle game, it's hard to integrate a story into it. That being said, I feel like they did a good job with attempting to integrate the story in, like, as good as they could. But it's not a story game, it's a puzzle game, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's also really well written, has lots of jokes spread throughout it, which are actually pretty funny. But at the same time, it feels like they almost try too hard at certain points.
Well, see, the one thing I actually did enjoy about the story is the jokes. I thought Wheatley especially, just incredible voice actor. Just Wheatley brought a lot of humor to the series. Just the way he would talk, his mannerisms for a little robot were just absolutely hysterical. So I thought they did do a good job of kind of brightening up what little story they did have by adding the humor in it.
Yeah, Wheatley is absolutely hilarious. Alright, so what are you going to rate the story overall?
You know, this is a puzzle game. Like I said earlier, it's not a story game. So really, it's not going to have a good story, a strong story. For what it did, I thought it did it very well. The fact that they could integrate any kind of a story into a puzzle game like they did was impressive. But overall, I'm just going to have to give the story a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with you to a point. It's not really meant to be a huge epic story. It just kind of helps move the single player along. It does it very nicely. And it does keep you entertained for the majority of the whole experience. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Alright, so next up is the gameplay. What did you think about it, Pete?
Gameplay was awesome. A lot of people pin this as a science-based game, but other than momentum, there's not too much science involved that I saw. Just from a sheer puzzle aspect, it's really fun. There are certain levels where you have to like go outside of the usual testing facilities and kind of work your way around. These levels are extremely frustrating and really pointless because you just have to find one tiny little patch to portal to. And there's not really, it's more of an I Spy type of level than a puzzle level, and I didn't enjoy those because it was just kind of pointless and time wasting and frustrating, all because you can't find this one little patch. But other than those levels, the gameplay was awesome. Just the momentum aspect of it, of flying through certain portals to get to certain areas, just made the game really fun. So it definitely good gameplay. What did you think?
The gameplay is just all around great. It continues the same principles from the first one. Still remains unique. There's really nothing out there like it. Basically, you go around shooting portals. You control an entrance and an exit one, so you can access different areas. The whole game takes place within different test chambers, so you have to kind of use your brain really in this one to solve them and ultimately reach the door that leads to the exit, and you basically just continue going through these levels over and over again to ultimately reach the end. And like you said, there were those little areas that serve as a bridge between the different sections where you have to kind of locate the little spot you have to put your portal on so you can access the area. I don't really feel like they were that frustrating like you did, but they did sort of feel unnecessary. But I don't really feel like they ruined the fun factor of the game at all.
Alright, G, so now that we've discussed the gameplay, what are you going to give it 1 out of 10?
I'm going to have to go with a 9 out of 10. I mean, the gameplay is so unique, it doesn't copy anything else, it's its own game. And it does it very well. It's very fun to play it, and there really aren't any noticeable glitches either, so all around it's very good.
I'm going to go with a 7 out of a 10. I did enjoy the game, and had it not been for the weird levels where you have to find that one little tiny patch in this giant cave, I probably would have given it an 8. But those levels were just frustrating for no reason, so it's going to lower the score to a 7 for me. So, G, what do you think of the presentation for Portal 2?
The presentation just follows right in line with the gameplay. It's very well done, the graphics are very good, they do a great job of conveying their cartoony theme that they're going for. And during the few cutscenes that they have, they're actually Pixar quality good. Then the sound really steps it up too. The voice acting is excellent, the actors are spot on, they're superb with their delivery of the jokes and moving the plot along. The music will chime in during key moments, like when you finally figure out the solution to this one test chamber and you're flying up onto the ledge to complete it. And the song that plays during the ending credits is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, definitely, dude. The presentation was solid all the way through this game. I feel like Stephen Merchant actually stole the show with his voice of Wheatley. Just absolutely hysterical. Added a whole different dimension to it. Perfect timing on everything he said. The songs were good. The ending credits were amazing. Like, that song was just absolutely hysterical. Almost like a little reward for beating the game. And the graphics are solid. So yeah, definitely, dude. I would say the presentation was good.
Alright, so how are you going to score the presentation, Pete?
The presentation was very good. I feel like I said earlier, the characters were just spot on a lot of the time. The graphics were good. I'll give the presentation an 8.
I'm going to give the presentation 8 as well. The graphics were very well done, and the audio was too, especially the voice acting. But it's not really among the top tier games out there in this aspect. Alright, so next up we have the online co-op. What did you think about it?
It's fun. It's not as challenging as it could have been, I feel like. We flew through a lot of those levels. There are definitely certain ones that make you think a little bit, but I wasn't as challenged as I would have liked to have been for the online co-op. The puzzles are pretty easy to figure out when you have two guys looking at it. Another aspect I thought that would have been awesome for the game is if one player controlled one of the other portals. That, like, if I shot my blue portal, it would connect with G's yellow portal or something like that. I thought that would have made the game more challenging. It would have been more fun. But they didn't have that. It was just you control your own portals and you make it work. And usually they don't even need to go unless you're controlling a bridge together. It didn't make too much of a difference. So it wasn't as challenging as I would have liked it to have been, but it was still fun.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on the fact that it was fun, but as far as having two people not making too much of a difference, that's definitely outrageous to say. Because there were areas where one person would have to control the beam that moves you forward and the other person would have to control the shields to block the turret fire from killing you. And then there were other areas where one person would have to move through the air and the other person would have to control the portals to continue moving them forward and help them reach areas that were inaccessible to them without their help. And there were even areas that sort of acted like a maze where one person would have to navigate through it while the other person was helping them from the outside so they can continue to move through it. So it definitely goes into much more detail than just controlling the bridges to help your partner. And they even adapt the comedy well over to the co-op as well. There are parts where you can put a portal above and below your partner, and they'll just continue to fall endlessly at lightning speeds, and it's hilarious just to watch them continue going and going. And then there are also parts where you can let your partner slam into a wall and watch him deform into a flat shape, and even parts where you can put a bridge under your partner and then take it away and watch them fall. And there's even gestures that you can do, like having rock, paper, scissors competitions and dancing and stuff like that.
Alright, G, what are you going to rate the co-op experience for this game?
I'm going to have to go with an 8 on the co-op. The challenge just isn't as high as a single player. It's naturally going to drop when you have two people working together to figure solutions out. But overall, it's a great experience and it's very fun.
I'm gonna go ahead and rate it a 6. It just wasn't challenging enough, I didn't feel like, and especially because we had certain issues that every once in a while the mic would stop working. It was a little bit glitchy in certain areas, and if it was more challenging, I'd probably move it up to an 8. But right now, it was pretty easy to just fly on through, so I'm gonna give it a 6.
Alright, so how are you going to rate the replay value on Portal 2?
It's all going to depend on the downloadable content and how much they release. They're usually good at updating their games, but if you're just buying it and you don't really want to spend that extra money on the downloadable content, the replay value is going to be a 4. If you don't mind throwing $5 for a few more maps here and there, or whatever they're going to charge, I don't really know yet. It'll probably move it up to a 6. But the thing is, once you solve the puzzles, you're done. You don't want to play that same puzzle again because it's not challenging. You just kind of know exactly what to do and you can finish it in, a minute. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh yeah, downloadable content's inevitable. Valve are very good at supporting their games after release, so I'm sure they're going to help up the replay value in that regard. But as far as the base game goes, it's pretty low because the fun from this game really does come from solving the puzzles the first time around. So I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 10 as well.
Exactly. So G, now that we've been over everything, what will you rate Portal 2 1 out of 10?
Overall, I'm going to say Portal 2 is a 9 out of 10 game. It's solid all around in every aspect. It's a thinking man's game, and it's very unique. It's different than everything else out there, so it stands on its own.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7 out of 10. Like I said, the replay value is not great on it, and once you beat it, it's just going to sit there for the most part. So I'm trying to take that into consideration when I think of the full rating. But as the game, it was fun. They had some flaws going through it, like the giant caves. Like I said, it just kind of took away a little bit of the story for me. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Alright,
so that concludes our official review for Portal 2, where Sneaky Universe gives it an 8 out of 10.
And remember everybody, check out our website at sneakyuniverse.com.
And remember everybody, keep it sneaky.